Big Mountain is on site at the Circa in Las Vegas for Mountain West Media Days 2025.
We're having a great time here in Las Vegas. We have had a ton of interviews, and here's another one for you right now. All right, JY back here with the Big Mountain. I have two Utah State Aggies with me, Bryson, Gabriel. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Happy to be here.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
We're getting close to the end of the day here with the players. I think you guys are about done with this, so we'll keep it pretty short, but I have some questions for you here. Would love to hear from you guys just your first impressions on Bronco, what he's been like here early on and what your expectations are for the season.
I mean, he came in and he brought a culture and structure with him, and he also, I think one of his first meetings that he had with us, he put up on the board, and of active FBS coaches, I believe he's third in wins. And, he just kind of said, this is what I'm about. And he set the expectations and what he expected of us. And he told us it's going to be hard. It's probably going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. And, he weeded out the dudes that didn't want to buy into it. And so we got a team chock full of dudes that believe in Bronco.
So, yeah, basically, the proof was in the pudding, you know what I'm saying? You'd be crazy not to see those numbers and not believe in Coach Bronco and his ways and how he does things. So, the expectations for the season, just play our hardest every week. And, obviously we want to hoist that trophy up at the end of the season. But, we're just going to play harder and longer than our opponent.
Understand. Well, let's talk about you two guys because you're here. Bryson, we'll start with you. Being named starting quarterback here, what is it like, kind of going into the season? You're going to be the starter. Your numbers have been great when given the opportunity. So kind of where are you at both physically and mentally as you gear up for the season?
Start off physically, with Bronco's system and culture that he's put in place and doing hard things. Probably the best physically I've been in my entire career, and that's a testament to his program. And I know there's a lot of dudes on the team that could probably say the same thing. And then, there is just kind of when you are named the starter and you're going into the season knowing you're the guy, there's an ownership of the way you do things and getting with the guys and kind of, you already have a leadership role as a quarterback, but it's even more so when you're the starter. Guys are looking to you to take control of things, and so you're able to embrace that role, and that's what I've been doing this summer.
That's awesome, and I'll tell you what, I watched the Utah game last year. You had quite a big part in that game, and I went, this dude's a stud. This guy needs to be playing ball. So I'll be anxious to watch you here going into this year. I want to talk to you real quick, Gabriel, about you're a JUCO product.
Yes, sir.
Can we talk just about that process, going from there to where you are now? How did that all kind of transpire?
Oh, man, junior college, you got to be a dog to get up out of there, you know what I'm saying? I mean, all jokes aside, it's definitely a hard environment to be in. And, we have cats that have it harder than me, working jobs and having to wake up the next day to go to practice, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely tough, but in the end, if you have a goal, it's definitely worth it. And, you get one shot to do it. So, I mean, I feel like I did great for my 1 year at City.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you see the players like you that do that. You put in the hard work. You elevate your game. You elevate where you're at. And I love hearing that from you and kind of how that progress happened and everything. If there's one key kind of goal for you guys, we'll end it with this, and love to hear from both of you. If you have one key goal this year, what would that be here for the season?
Like I said, we want to be conference champions. Go out there and outlast our opponents physically and mentally, and just come every week and playing our hardest.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and on that, in order for us to get to that point, it's about the little things you do each and every day. You do those little things each and every day. It's going to say you have to go 1-0 each and every week, and you keep stacking that. You stack a bunch of 1-0s. You're going to stack a 12-0 at the end of it.
There you go. Is that a Bronco quote, or is that you going?
That's me right there.
That's all right.
Bar.
I love it. Mark it down. So, hey, we thank you guys for joining us here on the Big Mountain. Best of luck here this season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, so we are here with Bryson Barnes, starting quarterback, Utah State. Hey, Bryson, we're excited to talk to you today. Just wanted to hear, what your thoughts are on this upcoming season.
Yeah, no, super excited. Little upsetting year that we had last year. Got a new coaching staff, coaching changes happening that have already happened. And when you bring a coach in like Bronco Mendenhall, I mean, it truly is something special. He brings in this culture and this reputation that he has that's easier for the players to buy into because it works. So it's a matter of just trusting your head coach, doing these hard things, and knowing that it's going to pay off because it's been done before.
Yeah. So Bronco, Coach Mendenhall, he carries a ton of credibility with him everywhere he goes. When you heard the news he was going to be the new head coach? What was in your mind?
And I was super excited because I knew we got a good hire. And that was one thing I wanted for myself with my last years. I just wanted to be able to have a good year to go out on. And now looking at it, I believe it's going to be a great year to go out on.
Awesome. So you guys brought in some new wide receivers this year. Mm-hmm. How's your chemistry going? Have you gotten a chance to work out with them over the summer?
Yes, absolutely. They actually, when we are required to be off during May, and there's no workouts taking place, all three of them are not from Utah that I was working with, and they were able to come back a few weeks into May to start throwing with me again. And so it's nice to be able to start building that chemistry with those guys, and it's great to have playmakers out there because then it makes my job a whole lot easier. Yeah. My job is just to make sure I get it in their hands and let them go make something happen.
Awesome. So what's an individual goal that you have this year, and how can achieving that individual goal help achieve a team goal?
Yeah, so I would say one of the individual goals that I have is a first team all conference. If I'm playing at a first team all conference level, our team is more than likely going to be having success because of that.
Awesome. All right. And so at the end of the season, you get down to the end of the season. I know every team, we want to be 1-0. We want to be 1-0.
Yep.
But what's a successful season look like to you? You get to the end of the season. What do you guys have to accomplish for you to say, you know what, we had a good, solid season?
Yeah, to me, if we're not holding up that Mountain West Championship trophy up, then to me we failed. There's nothing that's going to be anything satisfactory about taking second, taking third, an 8-win season, 9-win season. Like, we want to be holding that trophy up at the end of the year, and to me, that's when you're going to feel accomplished, not anything less than that.
Awesome. So what are your goals for the future? Because at some point, you can only play college football so long.
Exactly.
So do you want to play at the next level? Do you have an interest in going to the NFL? And then beyond that, what's your major? What are you going to have your degree in? And when football, because at some point you can't play football forever. So yes. When football's done, what do you want your long-term career to be?
Yeah, so just like you said, college football is going to end for me, more than likely going to be this year. And I want to ride football out as long as I can, whether that be NFL, UFL, CFL, kind of just see where football takes me. And when that's done, I want to go back to Utah, start up a few businesses that I've had. There's a lot of things that I want to work with the youth and upcoming athletes with. And then also, I'm going to graduate this December. When I finish up my college eligibility, I'll finish academically with my master's. I got my master's in business administration.
Awesome.
And so I'm super excited about what the future holds.
Awesome. All right. Well, Bryson Barnes, starting quarterback, Utah State Aggies, future MBA.
Yes,
thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us some time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
So we're here with Gabriel Iniguez, defensive tackle, senior from Utah State. Yep. Just wanted to talk to you today. Was excited. Wanted to see how you're looking forward to this season.
I'm really excited. Going into my senior season, I really wanted to be, my best one. And so I really feel like I've been putting in, great work in the off season to, have that. So I'm very excited.
Very cool. So what's one of your personal on-field goals this year, and how will, if you can accomplish that goal, how will that help achieve a team goal?
Personal goals, I would like to have 10 plus TFLs and 8 plus sacks this year, and that's gonna help the team by having the offense lose yards and getting the ball back on third downs.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so every team at the beginning of the year, I know everyone preaches the 1-0 mentality, but every team has team goals at the beginning of the year. So for you, when you get to the end of the season, what do you guys need to accomplish to be able to look back as a successful season?
I mean, obviously, it's getting that Mountain West, hoisting that Mountain West championship trophy up at the end of the year. So I mean, that's the main goal right there, winning the conference.
Awesome. All right, cool. So I believe from listening to you earlier, you transferred. Was it once or twice before you came to Utah State?
I transferred twice. So I left. I came from New Mexico State to Utah State, and then I left Hawaii to spend a year in junior college.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to call it transferring or something. Yeah. So yeah.
So I want to ask you from a player perspective, how do you feel about the transfer portal? The transfer portal sometimes gets a lot of hate in the media or from some old school folks because they say it's ruined college football. And from a player perspective, it's given you some opportunities. So what's your feeling on that?
I feel like it's a great opportunities for players to if they weren't getting the opportunity they wanted at the certain school they were at, or I mean, because some players, they're hopping in there with no film or whatever and kind of just hoping they'll get picked up. I kind of feel for that one. I'm not really on that side, but
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a great opportunity if you use it correctly.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, Gabriel Iniguez, senior defensive tackle, Utah State. We'll be watching you this year. We'll be rooting for you.
Right on. Thank you.
That's it for day one of Mountain West Media Days in Las Vegas.
We have a lot more planned for you here. This was the Players' Days. Tomorrow is the Coaches' Days. We have a lot of great content coming for you, so make sure you give this one a like and subscribe if you like our content. We'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.